Hello and welcome to the Global Education Student Chat for our April Tweet and Talk. We are really excited to have you join us live today, and those of you that are watching the replay. This is a really interesting topic. It is for me, working in a high school, and the topic is peer pressure. For those of you new to the Global Ed Student Chat, Global Ed Student Chat is a student-led Twitter chat that connects K-12 students around the world to discuss topics and questions related to character education, social justice, and citizenship. Global Ed Student Chat creates opportunities for students to network with others, gain perspective, build relationships with new partners in a literacy-rich learning environment, experience social media as a powerful platform for learning, and establish a positive digital footprint. So thank you so much for joining us. I invite Namya, who's going to go over how this all works.
Sure. So first of all, if you're watching us on YouTube, you may sign in with the Google account, and if you use the chat to comment, and you can also ask a question there. And if you have Twitter, follow the hashtag Global Ed SS chat to read the ideas, thoughts, and questions shared by the others. And we will use the question answer format. Use the hashtag Global Ed SS chat to add your thinking and get involved with the conversation. Feel free to share your first name and where in the world you're joining in from today. And if you ask questions, we will bring them to the panel. Please remember that the audience for this chat is K-12, so your comments and questions should be appropriate for all ages.
Thank you, Namya. And I think we should start with introductions. My name is Jennifer Casa-Todd. I am a teacher librarian from Aurora, Canada, and the co-founder of the Global Education Student Chat, as well as an author and keynote speaker. Always excited to engage and learn with these incredible students.
Perfect. So I'll go next. Hi, everyone. Feels so great to be back. Haven't been on a live with Global Ed Student Chat in such a while, but my name is Erin Kim. I'm super excited to be back as a guest panelist. This is actually how I started my journey with Global Ed Student Chat, I think like 3-4 years ago now, kind of crazy. I am a Cardinal Carter alumni. I was in the International Baccalaureate program there. I'm currently a third-year student at the University of Toronto, studying commerce and marketing. So I'm super excited to talk about peer pressure and kind of bring a university student's insight into this topic.
Hi, so I'll follow that. My name is Rebecca. I'm in grade 10 and I go to Cardinal Carter. And I'm located in Canada, Ontario. And I'm very excited for today's chat.
Hi everyone, I'm Namya Joshi and I'm currently studying in grade 10 at Satpal Mithil School in India. And me too, I'm pretty excited to be back here for another chat to discuss upon peer pressure and how we together can overcome the problems that we all face in today's society regarding the topic.
Hi everybody, I'm Sam. I've been with the chat since the beginning. I think it's been 4 or 5 years now. And I'm in grade 11. I go to LDSS in Listowel, Ontario, Canada. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this chat today.
Wonderful. And we are so excited. I think we need to mention that Erin is our expert on panel today, which is a bit of a switch for us. So that's very cool. And we may have some other students who will be joining us and they can introduce themselves as they go. I invite you, if you are joining us live, to say hello. So welcome to Miss Bartley's grade 7 class. Joining us today from Massachusetts. We invite you to say hello and participate as much as possible. Sorry, friends, that was an announcement here. I'm going to bring it over to Rebecca, who will be sharing our norms today.
Yes, for sure. So we will have 30 minutes to discuss 3 questions. Please be mindful that this chat is open to students in K to 12. Active participation from all classes is how we learn. All comments made during the chat should be positive and productive. We welcome diverse opinions. You may not agree with something someone has said, but we ask that when challenging an idea, you respectfully disagree with the idea and not the individual person. Being respectful online includes using language that is inclusive and culturally appropriate.
Thank you, Rebecca. And you can participate, as I said, using the comments on YouTube. You may also use the hashtag #GlobalEdSS chat on Twitter. And Sam, if you could take a look on Twitter and bring any of the questions that are there to us, that would be wonderful. And any questions that appear here on YouTube, we will bring in as well. So let's get started with the first question.
All right, so today our first question is going to be, why is peer pressure an especially strong force in the life of a teenager? And as a sub-question to that, why is it more common for them to give in to peer pressure?
I think peer pressure has the ability to persuade someone to do something that has major implications, and it can lead to low self-esteem, poor academic performance, and just going away from your friends and family. And it can also cause lots of despair and anxiety. And if we leave it untreated, then this could lead to self-harm or having suicidal thoughts in adolescence. And I believe that some children give in to peer pressure in order to be liked by everyone, to fit in, or to be avoided by being teased by their peers if they do not follow their group's lead. And others like my company into the peer pressure because they want to try something new. But at the end of the day, they realize that this isn't the right thing, because if you're following somebody and it's going towards the wrong path, then you're basically spoiling your own future. It's really important that we listen to ourselves, and we should know how to make decisions and then understand what is right and what is wrong.
Yes, well said, Namia, and I'll follow that. I said I think that peer pressure is especially strong for teenagers because around this age is when most kids feel the constant need to be validated by fitting in. And it's common for teenagers to give in to unhealthy or dangerous things like drugs due to peer pressure if it's ruled out as cool or this is what these said popular kids are doing. Another factor as to why teenagers may give into peer pressure more commonly at this age is because now is the time that we're told or our parents will tell us about their lifelong friends that they met in high school that are at their weddings. So when we think of lifelong friends, it's usually someone that we're close to at this day and age. And it's hard to resist what they tell us because we want to believe that they wouldn't want to do anything that would put us in harm's way.
Yeah, and another reason for why it would be a strong force in kind of the life of a teenager. As a teen, you're generally around more people, more peers. You have more peers. If you're in a high school, you're probably in a class of 20 to 25 students. So you're kind of just surrounded by more people, which means you can have more opportunities for people to be pressuring you into doing something. I know as some adults don't tend to have as many connections as maybe your standard teenager does. So definitely in your teen years is where you have maybe 5 different groups of friends, and you're flip-flopping between all of them. So that's kind of why there would be more of a presence of peer pressure in that group of people, just because there's purely more people to be there to suggest things to you, to say, oh, you should try this. There's just more people with different opinions.
Yeah, that was really, really well said, I think, from everyone. I think the biggest reason that impacted me personally when I was in high school or even elementary school regarding peer pressure was I feel like I was a part of such a small community. I didn't really know to what extent there are different types of people that are living different types of lives outside of the little community that I grew up in. And because I'm always surrounded by very similar types or very similar people my whole life, what they're doing always just seemed right, or that seemed like the only way to do something. And in high school, especially, like Sam mentioned, within the 3-4 groups that you might be a part of, it seems that everyone is doing the right thing except for you, or everyone's kind of going a path that seems cooler than the one that you're on. But I think once you kind of break out of that bubble and kind of coming to university, I'm like, wow, like that's so cool. Like that person had a completely different lifestyle than me. What they're doing seems cool, but also my lifestyle is also kind of cool. It's really different. We get to appreciate the benefits and kind of the perks that come from growing up a certain way that we did, which you don't really see or realize in high school. So I think that was the biggest reason why I was peer pressured into doing something, because it seemed like the only right way to do something.
It's fascinating, right? You say that because in high school, and I think even in upper elementary, you're always trying to make sure you're under the radar. No one see, like, right, you're fitting in, you're not standing out. And what you're saying, Erin, is that when you got to university, though your uniqueness is what allowed you to sort of make other friends, and you started to appreciate it so much more. I love that you shared your experiences with us. Thank you so much. Our next question. So if there isn't any participation from the audience, we just lost Sam, and he's supposed to say, oh, there he is. Our next question, Sam.
Our next question is there such thing as positive peer pressure? And if you can you please provide an example?
I think when someone's influence on somebody is beneficial or it is for your own development, I guess that is what we call as the positive peer pressure. And for example, it could be like peers are dedicated in succeeding in school, and they can influence other people as well in the class who aren't that studious, but they can help them to become more goal oriented, or the ones who are nice and loyal or supportive, they can help the others to be the same. Other examples could be, I guess, encouraging a friend to achieve better grades, and then getting an after school job to become self-independent, or discouraging like illegal activities such as underage drinking and all. So in this way, I guess if somebody's positively influencing you, then you should go towards that peer pressure. And I guess that was some of the examples that I had in mind to share.
Yeah, to build on to that, I agree. Positive peer pressure is really just if it's maybe towards one of your goals in life, and your friend is trying to pressure you into following those goals in a positive way, or like trying to get you to do your homework, that could be considered peer pressure still. Just to try to get your grades up, or this will help you later in life, that kind of thing. That's positive peer pressure. For say, if maybe you're hanging out with a group of maybe smarter kids, and maybe you're not as smart and you're kind of there to try to learn from them, they will most likely try to peer pressure you into trying to do this for extracurricular, or doing your homework, or trying to force you to study. I know I have one friend who procrastinates the life out of any project. So I am constantly telling him, go do this. And to me, I think that would be considered positive peer pressure. Peer pressure doesn't always need to be a bad thing, but it depends on how it's being done and what it's for.
Yeah, well said. And I guess my example will kind of tie into what you're talking about, Sam. So I do believe that positive peer pressure is a very real thing. And in fact, I think it should and it could be utilized more often. Because positive peer pressure is when someone's peer influences them to do something positive or growth building for themselves or others. An example of this could be an academic influence. What I mean by this is, take, for instance, test. If you're studying for a test and you're finding the material too challenging and you want to give up, one of your friends might call you and say something like, hey, you got this and you're going to get 100 on this test because I believe in you and I can help you and you can help me study for the next test. This is an example of positive peer pressure because now your friend may have influenced you not to give up and to continue to study to receive 100 on that test. And not only that, they've shown you support, so now you can reciprocate backwards after that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really think the word pressure has a negative connotation to it. Maybe like peer to peer motivation, like everyone else mentioned, might be a better term to kind of describe this. But I really do think that. Especially when you're growing up and even when you're older, your peers do have a lot of influence on your life. The people that you spend time with, the people that you love, do have a lot of impact on your decision making. So I think if they impact your decision making in a way that supports your personal growth and also their growth, it's always a positive influence. One example that I can think of is my current roommate. We both kind of decided to make the decision to go to the gym an X number of times a week, and we decided to go together, like make sure we're going through the routines together. And because we were influenced by other friends who also do the same thing with the roommates, now we're just a big community and group of friends that support each other's health. Right. So I think in that sense, it wasn't necessarily us feeling pressured to go because they're doing it. It's just we were really motivated by their actions, and it was something that we also wanted to implement into our lives. So I think as long as you stay grounded to yourself and you really truly understand that someone is motivating you rather than pressuring you, I think it is the correct decision to make and be influenced by positive things in another person's life that you can implement into your own as well.
Thanks so much, Erin. And those are some really great and powerful examples. We have Nishad, who's our newest team member, joining us a little late. So Nishad, maybe you can briefly introduce yourself before you answer this question. But we can't hear you. So Nishad is going to get his audio figured out, and we are going to move on, Sam, to the next question, and then we'll bring him back in.
All right, our third question for the month is, what is the most creative way to respond to what everyone else is doing it? Just to expand on that, just in case you're confused, this is more of a situation question. If your friends are trying to pressure you into doing something and they say, and you say no, and then they respond with what everyone else is doing, what's kind of your most creative way that you can think of to respond to that, to counter that?
Okay, well, I can give this question a go. So, after deep thoughts, unfortunately, this is the best I've come up with. If I was in an instance and one of my friends is trying to get me to do something I didn't want to, and they use the excuse of, but everyone's doing it, I think I would probably say something like, well, that's fantastic that everyone is doing it. So, does that mean that everyone here is going to, help me write my exams and everyone here is going to help me get into the university of my choice? Because if I want to follow what everyone else is doing, then I at least want to make sure everyone else is doing what I want then. That's what I came up with.
I agree with Rebecca on that point because it's not like if your friends are saying everybody is doing it, then they basically have to do what I want to do as well. So like if I want to go in certain university, if I'm going to the university, then so that everybody should go there too. And I think that will be what I thought about too, is basically I would, if my friend would counter back again that, okay, I got your point. So basically, I would say like you should follow what your heart says and not what everybody else says, because sometimes your heart says better than your head, and you should listen to it in a better way. Because sometimes I've seen my friends giving me very witty, like not me, but some of the other friends, witty responses like, okay, if I slam the windowsill, would you do that too? But that obviously wouldn't be like a response that I would give, but that would be a funny way to respond to that question. And I guess, yeah, but I would agree with Rebecca on what she said for the question.
Yeah, when we were writing this question, I could think of so many ideas of what I could say. Around now, a month later, I'm thinking, what was I, what was I thinking? But I guess my main way of saying would be like, well, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I don't need to do it because everybody else is doing it. And really, that's the lesson about peer pressure. Just because everybody else is doing something doesn't mean you have to. You're your own person. You don't have to follow the herd. You can go off and do your own thing. I had a good one in my head, and now I'm not sure, but that's how I would respond to that. It's like that, stereotypical. If your friend jumped off a cliff, would you jump off too? Like, of course not.
Classic
I wouldn't
mama
want to do
saying.
that. Yeah, like there's not much else to say to that. Like, just because everybody else is doesn't mean I have to.
And I was also thinking, yeah, I got my audio working now. Sorry, I'm late. It was kind of hard finding a quiet place, and then the audio stopped working. Yeah. So if someone said that, I'd say it's not necessarily, even if everyone does it, it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, because this is kind of weird analogy, but let's say there's a river and there's like everyone swimming in that, and there's a waterfall at the end. No matter how many people go in the river, it's not going to make the waterfall disappear. So even if you join someone in doing something bad, no matter what it is, it doesn't make it right, no matter how many people are still doing it.
Well said.
Wow, that's a really, really good analogy. I don't know how I'm gonna follow up to that, but I think honestly, like what everyone if I ask answer to the question, then why that's correct. I think. Hello, can you hear me? Okay?
Yeah. Can you start that again?
Start that again. I
Yes.
think
There
lost
you
your
go.
tech.
Yeah, let me start that again. So I think my response will just be like, so what? Everyone else is doing it, so what? Like, how does that benefit me? If my friend has a sense, maybe I'll consider doing it, but there's no reason or if a personal like grounded vision don't see a valid reason of why I should be doing it, then I'm just not going to do it. And I think the waterfall analogy is the perfect way to put it. If I know that the end of me taking this action is going to be bad, then regardless of how many people are doing it, there's absolutely no need for me to also join in.
I think I'm going to challenge you, and I know this isn't a question we talked about, but I was doing a parent talk the other night, and one of the teacher or the administrators was talking about devious licks, and I thought we were done with those. Like those are those challenges on TikTok where kids were showing were demonstrating acts of vandalism in a variety of different places, and it really made me think about this topic again, right? And it made me think about this pressure sometimes, this everyone is doing it, so I'm going to get all these likes if I tear this off here or I do this. And to me, the new everybody's doing it shows up on social media with the number of likes something gets, and the extent to which something that is pretty awful, like it's actually vandalism, goes viral. So what do you have to say about the pressure to do some of those things? And I know you haven't prepared for this, but does anyone have any response there? Because there are lots of adults scratching their heads going, what do we do here? All of these kids, or so many kids, even good kids, are suddenly feeling like they need to do this too, or like, or finding this funny, and it sort of sweeps away, even though it's wrong. They know it's wrong. Waterfall's still there, right? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a really great question, Miss, and I wouldn't mind giving this a go. I mean, as a student or a kid that's on social media quite regularly, I can definitely understand the temptations because I guess all that's going through a kid's head is, hey, maybe if I do this really bad thing, sure, I'll get in trouble, but I'll get all these likes and all these people will like me. I think, like, as you said, this does tie exactly into peer pressure, but it's from a larger standpoint. I think something that could be done by adults if they wanted to, but maybe super independent kids that really want to put a change to this because maybe they really care about um, the well-being of their school, the physical building, is maybe they could create new trends. Like maybe we can make it get really viral. Like, hey, let's see who can, I don't know, clean up their school the most, or who can spot the most vandalism at their school and do something to actually get rid of it. I think if we want to take a step towards getting rid of this, we need to have some sort of contradiction and something else maybe blow up. Yeah, positive peer pressure, yes, exactly that.
Yeah, I completely agree with Rebecca because a trend is really just some action that everyone is doing that makes you feel good because it's kind of accepted. So I feel like the only way to stop a trend would be not to accept it anymore and not give the people doing it that feeling of, yeah, this is fun or this makes me popular or like makes other people think better about me. And every part, you can't do it just by one person. Multiple people need to start acting on it. Yeah, it's kind of a multi, no, not multi anything, kind of a community thing that everyone needs to help fix.
Right, I agree with Rebecca and Nishad too, because if we have a ripple effect, it takes like a long time to reach the shore. But if we try, we can always stop that at a point, and then if like small steps always lead to big impact. So if we try and do our best, then obviously we can stop these kind of trends.
Yeah, and I just want to really put this out there because I think high school is the age where people are most sensitive to trends and following trends and things like that. And I think the trend that you just mentioned, Ms. Castad, also kind of links to the Tide Pod trend, where at one point people really, for some reason, enjoyed eating Tide Pods, and there was many accidents, really unfortunate accidents that could have been prevented. But looking back at it now, which is even more, we all think that those in the in the future term in the moment you can't record the long-term consequences that's going to follow. So I think this is just a message to that irrelevant.
I am so sad that we missed some of that because I'm sure it was brilliant, Erin. So maybe I could get you to type it in the chat just so people can hear what it said, because I'm knowing you, it was brilliant. We are going to move in to wrap it up, but I just want to echo, and I know I pushed you to this question, but it really does tie together with a former chat topic that we had, which was what's trending. Because and it's amazing how well these two topics, peer pressure and trending, what's trending, complement one another. You are welcome to go back to Global Ed Student Chat and look at our archives and check out that chat if you are interested. Namya, will you take us away with the final thoughts?
Sure. So I'm going to be talking about the Social Media Ambassador Program. We're always looking for students who excel or who are looking to grow their leadership skills. Check out the globalsschat.com for more information about how to join our Social Media Ambassador Program. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the hashtag Global Ed SS Chat We Didn't Talk. Our student team on panel, me, Nishad, Sam, Rebecca, and also our expert, Miss Erin Kim. Please keep the conversation going by answering our slow chat for the rest of the month. Be sure to use the hashtag GlobalEdSSChat hashtag so our team can interact with you. Please follow us on social media. That is the website, globaledsschat.com, Twitter @GlobalEdSSChat, Instagram is also the same. You can also find all of the hashtag Global Ed SS Chat tweet and talks on the Flipgrid in the Discovery Library. And watch for more details about the next month's chat, which will be posted on the website on 1st of every month. Next month's chat will take place in May. Please note we are currently recruiting members for our social media ambassador program. Please DM us for more information. Thank you again for joining us. See you online.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.